Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and today we are going to sit you guys down with a primer for the OP03 pre-release event. Yes, that's right, they're coming out in about a week, I believe, and so we're going to be able to dive right in. I just want to give you guys kind of a watch list to look out for cards when you're building your deck, and we're going to start from the bottom up because you're most likely going to find better commons than you are going to have a selection of rares, because you only are going to get 6 rares, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the content that's coming up. If you want to support the channel, all you got to do is like the video, comment on it, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll just keep it moving. Past that, if you want to support the channel even further, I've got a affiliate link with TCG Player, so if you're going for singles, just go down to the description and click that link. You'll be able to get your singles like you were going to, but also just kind of give a little bit of a throwback to the channel. And then on top of that, if you're looking for a sealed product, whether it be for One Piece or any other game you play TCG wise, go to my partnered link with Mystic TCG, because I can give you 5% off of your total sealed product checkout just by ordering through that site. So that being said, let's hop over to the cards. All right, so we're gonna try to go through these fairly quickly because there's actually a bunch of them. First and foremost, we're gonna start with the leader slot. Just because, the way that the draft system works, or the constructed sealed system would be in this event, you're gonna be able to bring in leaders from all across the game. Any leader you want, it's in your possession, you're gonna be able to use. Now, when it comes to set 3 leaders, you're gonna have to pull it in the actual event you're in order to use it. But because of this setup, once again, we are looking at Eustace Kid being the pretty much de facto leader. He's just good. He's a generic leader. You can trash any card from your hand to swing twice for 3 Dawn. He's going to be able to put the pressure on in a very simplified game state where most sealed games tend to go. So yeah, Kid is that dude. Following that, if you have a lot of low to the ground cards and you think you can spread out well enough, Zoro's your man. I would actually bring Kid and Zoro and then just see how your sealed opening goes, and that will allow you to pretty much just see how you were going to, which leader you would better use more. In most cases it's going to be Kid, but in certain circumstances Zoro works better too. However, in this set, very much so unlike last set, there are actually some good go-to generic leaders. One of them, actually the first of them, being Charlotte Katakuri. Dawn X1, when attacking, you look at the 1 life card from the top of your opponent's life area or your own, and you put it to the either top or bottom, and then you gain 1000. So just for 1 Dawn, this leader will always swing for 7k, and he's going to give you information to your life or your opponent's life, which is excellent in a format where you're not exactly constructed. You could maybe see their SR and be like, nah, I'm putting that at the bottom. You were not getting that until you were ready to die. So it's just a very, very, very good card. If you pull Charlotte Katakuri, you very well could be sitting with a leader that you would want to play over the other 2. So I actually really dig that. Now, moving over to the next one, you got Nami. Nami also could be a very good generic leader. You are running with 40 different cards in your deck. So as an additional rule, she has the self-mill. And then Dawn X1, when your opponent takes damage from their life through the attack of this leader, you may trash 1 card from the top of your deck. This can get a little risky, mainly just because you might not get all the Nami cards that you want, and trashing the top card of your deck and it being one of the cards that can mill the top 7 can be very, very rough. However, this is a potential win con you can use if you get enough cards that draw you cards that mill your top deck. So she is an option depending on your deck build. Now we're going to move into the commons for the set. I know some people may have different opinions, and if you do, leave it in the comments, let me know. And yeah, I'm just going to put this right here though. The first card I've got on my list is Haruta. Just a 2 cost, activate main. Once per turn, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. This is just like the 1-drop Nami from the red starter. 3k attack is fine, counter 1 is fine, effect is wonderful. If you see these, I'd stock up your deck with as many of these as possible. Next one, we have Audio from the One Piece Odyssey game. Dawn X1, when attacking, your opponent cannot activate blocker on characters with 2k power or less during this battle. Very, very, very good. This card is just going to be able to jump right in and just get past some blockers. And there's a lot of low to the ground blockers in this set. So I think this is going to be very, very good. Now we're going to move over to the next one. You got Fiery Doll, just 2, and then your leader Your leader gains 4,000 power for this turn. So basically just a very good defensive card. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually think it's just a very, very, very cool card in general. Well costed. You generally have extra Dawn in sealed format. You just do. The next card, another common, you got Buggy. Just a 3 cost for 5k, which is already very, very solid stats, but this character cannot be KO'd in battle with slash attribute cards. You'd be surprised on how often this is going to line up. I'm just gonna go back, right? The Haruta that we just had is slash. Zoro is slash. Well, I guess it's slash based characters, right? Not leaders, but, oh, slash attribute cards. Yeah, so Zoro as a leader can't kill that Buggy. Haruta can't kill that Buggy. So we're looking at a lot of cool things, and we'll just keep kind of putting that mental note down in there. The next comment I want to talk about is actually a Thunderbolt. Main, you may trash 1 card from your life area, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5 cost or less, or the trigger just does it without having to trash your top life. If you get this triggered, yes, it's a little random, but it's kind of cool. But also 1 life for a card that you aren't going to remove off the board, no way, no how, is probably still worth it. That 1 life is worth multiple chances of your turn trying to get around a blocker or whatever they might have in hand to protect their 1 boss. So I think this is good. Next, we're going to move over to uncommons. You've got Blamenko. Blamenko is just a 2 cost 3k Dawn X1. When attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2k power for the turn. This is very good because you can soften up something to swing on it later, or you can swing on something and then give that minus 2. So you're swinging on like a, they might have had a 5k and you Dawn this guy up twice and swing and turn it into a 3k against your 5k. Generally just making pressure that a sealed deck can't surmount. The next uncommon card is actually going to be Butchie. On play, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 2 or less. This can get little swingers out of the way, or if you somehow rested a blocker, this can get that out of the way too. He's also got a 5k body, so he goes neutral with leaders. Just in general, very good. The next one comes out of blue, and this is Sanji's Pilaf. It's just draw 2 cards. In a game like this, like I said, you have the extra Dawn often in the sealed format, and getting through more of your fodder cards to get to your potential bombs, always good. So very, very good card. And you being in the uncommon slot, being a couple per pack, like 4 per pack, 3 or 4 per pack, you have the room to hopefully pick up multiples of these and not just one of them. Next, we got Virgo. Dawn X1, this character might be KO'd by battle. It's a 5 for 5k. That's a little bit expensive, but it is a 2k counter if you can't ever find the space to play it. But with 1 Dawn, he's swinging for 6k, and he's not going to be able to destroy by battle. And so this is a very, very good card. He's very sticky in this sealed format. Next, we got Caulifla. My gosh, look at that art. And another 2k counter, which is awesome, 4 for 4. But when attacking Dawn -1, you draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand. This is the draw engine on its own and will automatically draw fire while it's just pushing you through your deck. So very, very good card. And then next we have Shirahoshi, another filter card. Counter 1, trigger, play this card, but likely you're just going to pay the 5 at some point in the game to draw 3 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand. If you have the space to play this, you are already ahead, but if you're already ahead, playing this is going to get you more ahead because you're going to start sequencing your better plays. And then the last uncommon card we have here is Ikuku Sovereignty, and you've got up to one of your leader cards or character cards gains plus 5k for this battle for 2. So that's very, very strong. 2 for 5k is a very, very strong push. Trigger, if you discard 2 cards from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. This is also very good because in sealed, you're often going to have some dead cards that maybe you can't use, maybe you can't find the space to use in the tempo of the game. And if you ever get this trigger, that's going to be very, very powerful. Again, as an uncommon, you may be able to pack more than one of these. So it's a very, very generally good card in sealed. Now we're going to move on to rares. First and foremost, Fire Fist. You can KO so much stuff with Fire Fist. If you pull a Fire Fist and you get to resolve it, you are probably winning that game because you're going to be removing 2 bodies that your opponent spent the better part of a turn to 2 turns playing, and then you're also going to just like no longer have that pressure on you, or you're going to be getting rid of blockers. Just a very, very strong card to see in sealed. Next, we got MH5. This is just rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters at the cost of 2 or less. And the trigger is going to pretty much be a Punk Gibson. Not quite as strong, but in draft format might as well be, or sealed format. Very, very, very good card. Next, you got Kaya in blue, and Kaya is just on play, draw 2 cards, trash 2 cards from your hand, 2k counter. Very good acceleration. Next, we got Zeph. Zeph is a 5 for 6k. Dawn X1 deals damage to your opponent. You may trash 7 cards from the top of your deck. That part not really relevant, but it's also May, so you don't have to. On play, return up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand, and you may trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. This is wonderful. You can get rid of blockers, you can move little swingers that they were trying to set up, you can recycle cards like Kaya. It's just very, very good. Zeph is a very good rare pickup. And then next you have 3,000 Worlds, just a 4 cost to place up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. Its trigger is actually worse, which is kind of funny, but you're still putting 3 or less to the bottom of the deck. So either way, 3,000 Worlds is a very, very good card to pick up. Moving into purple, you got Monkey D. Luffy, Dawn -1. You may trash 1 character card with a cost of 5 from your hand. This character gains Rush. Very good to close out the game. Rush is just the best keyword in the game so far, so strong. And then you have Rob Gucci. Now, Rob Gucci, when attacking, Dawn -1. Rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Just general mover. If they have a giant blocker, you can put that to the side, or you can put something down so you can swing on it. Very good. And then you got Gum Gum Jet Gatling. Counter, discard 1 card from your hand, go up to 3,000. So it's got that Gum Gum Rain vibe. But trigger, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Very nice trigger. If you do have this early game, you know, luck variance, but if it gets triggered early game, it's just going to put you ahead and get you into your bosses faster. So if you get this, I would just slide in your deck. There's no reason not to. Now in yellow, there's not really any in black. I'm sorry. Most of the black cards are specifically working with black cards, and because of that, it makes it very hard for them to get slotted in to these general sets. Most black cards are almost dead on arrival to the other things until you get to the SR slot. So looking at yellow, you got Charlotte Smoothie. You may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. This character gains 2k power during this battle. Trigger, you may discard 1 card from your hand, play this card. So very, very good. If you get it off a trigger, it's a free body, which is immense in draft format. And then she's also just going to be able to take life and go up if you want to, but nah, she's just very good. Next we got Buzzcut Mochi. If you have less life than your opponent, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with 4 or less, very strong. And then the other thing, the trigger is just really hard to play, no telling in a sealed deck if you're going to be able to have the ability to proc this trigger, but very good on the main. Now we're going to get to SRs. General rule of thumb, if you have an SR, just use it. Like, there's no reason to not use it. It's an SR, you know what I mean? It's just going to be powerful. So if you have the SR, use the SR. But there are some that stand above others. This Marco will be able to discard any event card to come back, and he's going to KO something with 3k power or less. This Marco is a savage. If you pull him in draft and you see him, he is likely going to carry the game for you. He's just immense. Nothing really else to say about this. This is probably one of the best cards you can possibly pull in sealed. Then you got Don Krieg, who's actually really, really strong. He may not see lots of play in constructed, but in sealed, he's a monster. On play, trash 1 card from your end, KO up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters with 4 or less. Oh, you swung with 2 cards last turn? Goodbye. Don X1, this character gains double attack. He's closing out games. 8k swing. They either block it or they just get clapped. So very, very strong card in sealed. Next we got Paulie. On play, pay 2 more, so he's going to be a 7 cost play, which is a little hefty, but you're going to be able to take 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck that is active, and you have 8 or more, KO to 1 of your opponent's characters with cost 4 or less. Removal, ramp, and a body to swing next turn. Very, very good. Now we're actually getting to a black card that we can use. This is Isho. Just freaking ridiculous. Dawn X1 during your turn, all your opponent's characters gain -3 of their cost. Really not really too much of a thing. I mean, sometimes if you get enough black cards, maybe you'll get a payoff, but the important part is if your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, trash 2 cards from their opponent's hand. So if you start swinging and you force cards into their hand and then you just play Isho and end your turn, you are really about to toast a third of their hand, and that is some momentum that's very, very hard to come back from in draft. Next, we've got Charlotte Cracker. Dawn X1, if you have less life than your opponent, this character gains double attack and 1000 power. So it's going to be a 7k double attack. That's very, very, very strong. And then trigger, you may discard 1 card from your hand and play this card. Overall, excellent card. Very, very strong. Love to see it. And those are actually that's the last one I actually have in this set. So essentially, those are the cards I would say are on the highest watch list. I know black didn't get a lot of love, but like black is requiring you to put like 2 CP9s from your grave to your deck, or to discard CP9s, or to do all these things, and you have to get very lucky to have that sort of build. You may even have a good concentration, but if your deck isn't streamlined enough, you just don't have the cards when you need them. So those are the target cards. Building decks focusing around those cards or putting as many of the copies of those cards as you can in your deck, I think will put you in a better spot. People said they really liked my pre-release video last set, so I thought I'd do it again this one. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna play the Mystic TCG reel. I've got some crazy news coming up for some commentary I will be doing next week. And for real, love you guys, love your support. And I do know that it's weird to see me cycle through multiple games, but just stick with me. I'm not gonna ditch one piece, and if you like other games, I'm not ditching them either. I'm not ditching Dragon Ball, I'm not ditching Battle Spirits. I'm doing all of them in tandem. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Later. So let's talk about Mystic TCG, your one-stop shop for all your TCG needs. On the site, you can buy or pre-order plenty of sealed product for plenty of games. Just make sure though, if you're pre-ordering, to give it 3 to 4 months in advance to start looking, because sometimes the product is indeed hot, supply and demand, you know? And then if you want to buy singles, go on tcgplayer.com. There's going to be a link in the description where you can buy for the best value. And if you want to sell cards or collections, you can message them on their Facebook site so you can get the best bang for your buck on any type of way you want to buy or sell cards. And then while you're at it, you can use the code UNIXTCG at checkout to get even more of a discount. So hey, what are you waiting for? Check out Mystic TCG today.